Barrow, and today I'll be presenting my 3 to 5 year management plan for building a successful work team. This is a plan I could implement in any future leadership role, and it is grounded in servant leadership principles, modern evaluation practices, and research on team development. My goal is to create a framework that builds trust, strengthens communication, develops people, and drives long-term organizational success. The purpose of the plan is to build and sustain a high-performing team, lead with servant leadership principles, improve communication and collaboration, strengthen trust and morale, develop team capability over multiple years, and create a culture that supports long-term success. So these are kind of the fundamentals of what I'm looking to achieve in building uh, my successful work team. Here's some of the key challenges from research that I've identified: burnout and low morale, lack of trust, weak communication systems within teams, performance uncertainty on what people are being measured on, performance metrics, limited development opportunities, poor feedback structure, individuals not knowing what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and top-down decision-making, hierarchical leadership models. The timeline is a bit fluid. The first 60 days, I would the first 6 days I would be doing learning and assessment. Um, as I take over a team, I'm going to be looking to identify the team's mission. I'm going to be doing a lot of learning initially when I take over the team, learning its mission, what it's doing, the personalities on the team. So the first 60 days, you generally want to kind of get to know your team and the mission. Sometimes things aren't always what they seem. So I'll be assessing how everyone fulfills their roles, the effectiveness of different team members. Months 3 to 4 will be the design stage in which I've taken what I've learned and what I've assessed, and now I am looking at how to array my tools, my design to kind of better build the team and increase the team's success. Months 4 through 6 is when I'm going to implement my plan, and I'll be refining my plan as I go along. Months 6 to 12, after I've already at this point I've analyzed the team, I've designed my my I've designed a plan on how I'm going to implement uh, my plan, and I'm going to be implementing and refining my plan. Month 6 to 12 really is more about maintaining the baseline and seeing how things go once I've already implemented different tools from my toolkit. And then months 13 through 36, everything's in place, and I've already kind of analyzed how things have been working, and I'm really just supervising and refining. So I'm refining the plan, refining how the team works, and then during all of this, I'm providing continuous feedback. So I don't really want to be wedded to a strict timeline, as I don't want to go down the wrong path and go down too far and have to backtrack. So I want to kind of leave my options open with everything I have available that I'm going to be covering. So management strategy, my overall strategy is to build trust and psychological safety within the team. There's a lot of research on this from Simon Sinek, um, from Robert Greenleaf, but it's really important that we can create a culture of trust and psychological safety, strengthening communication systems, clear communication amongst the team. Um, as Lencioni says, the first thing he highlights is trust. If we can build up trust, I believe everything else can follow, including those stronger communication systems. Implementing coaching and after action review practices. After action reviews is something that the Army does, the U.S. Army. And basically what that is after any key milestone, any key event, any task, group task completion, you have a meeting. And the purpose of these meetings isn't necessarily for me as the manager to explain what happened, but for me to collectively get the group to explain, okay, what was supposed to happen. Okay, now what happened? What went right? So what are a couple things that went right? What are a couple things we can improve on? And you're really acting more as a facilitator. And if you can get into an organization and get into the habit of doing this, where you're kind of leveraging the expertise of the group to kind of self-identify and hold each other accountable, you can draw out these lessons learned. You don't need to be there kind of, okay, you missed this, this, and this. You can elicit that from the group because the group knows what they need to work on, and do it in a positive fashion. Um, and if you can get them in this mindset to kind of self-identify and hold each other accountable and kind of create that culture. And the other important thing is there's no punishment. Okay, we made a mistake here, we made a mistake there. It's positive reinforcement. We made this mistake. Okay, well, what could we do different next time so that we could avoid making those same mistakes again? So that's what's called an after action review, and it can just kind of set the tone there. Um, Next, we have responsive evaluations and reward systems, and cultivating that long-term culture. A coach, I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit on the coaching in the AAR model. Again, that's a staff-led after-action review. Um, and what that kind of emphasizes again is instead of top-down criticism, the team drives the conversation and they identify what went well. We have continuous improvement cycles where we're constantly looking to improve. Uh, this creates a safe learning environment. And the feedback, another way to kind of couch this is the feedback is more couched on, is more not couched, but more based on development. We're looking to develop our team members and develop our team as a whole. Some team building activities. Again, I don't want to be wedded to strict timelines. We're going to be doing these, 30 days, we're going to be doing a service project, this and that. But generally, team building activities we would want to do is service projects. Um, it's kind of almost a cliche to have, okay, let's have pizza or let's, do this or that. But I feel like if we could do some type of service projects, whether it be litter cleanups, soup kitchen volunteering, uh, those types of things, then we could kind of see the team could kind of see the best in each other, but they could also kind of internalize, the significance of what we're doing and build trust. When you work with somebody in accomplishing something that helps others, you kind of feel that, and you can build trust, you can build loyalty, you can see the best in people. I have a couple other things on here, kind of gimmies, but article reading clubs. You could have article reading. We could have article reading clubs on the subject matter that we work with. It's important to stay current in our field, and a lot of times in the workplace, maybe we were current when we came out of grad school or wherever. We were current on whatever the current state of the art research was. But it's been 10 years. It's been 15 years. So it would be good to have article reading clubs or even book reading clubs to kind of see what's new, right? We could also even say company funded conferences, send people to conferences as a team to see what is the state of the art, what is the current research on our subjects that we're engaging with in the organization. The last one's pretty important to me. Opportunity for staff to submit their own ideas. Perhaps there is a service project in a staff member's own community. That would mean a lot if they could get the team together to come and help out in their own community. Performance management. So modern performance, it requires a lot of agility. We've seen a lot in the past where you have annual reviews, and a lot of times folks don't see how they're doing until it's performance review time. We kind of want to avoid that. Based on a McKinsey 2024 report, we've learned that evaluations need to be responsive. They can't, like I said, they just can't be a once a year thing. So we want to implement a framework that includes clear goal setting from the get go, regular check-ins, and meaningful coaching. Now, regular check-ins, it doesn't need to be you're in the middle of something and I'm interrupting and correcting you, but don't want to always. It needs to be a meaningful check-in at a time that matters, without interfering with the workflow. Another thing is the financial rewards. Not all rewards are financial. A lot of times, praise from managers, recognition in front of teammates. That's also extremely important. 360-degree feedbacks. As a manager, I'd want to be subject to feedback from my group as well, so they could help me develop. Um, so, but we basically want to create. We want to have an approach that creates fairness, clarity, and alignment. All right. So, what are our expected outcomes with this plan? Higher morale and retention, stronger trust and collaboration. Again, trust is key, and we want people to collaborate and work together. Better communication, clearer performance expectations, resilient teams that can lean on one another during stressful times, a sustainable culture, and improved mission success. So, in conclusion, this is my plan, and it's grounded entirely in servant leadership, uh, building trust, um, and kind of modeling humility. So, I believe that servant leadership plus structured management leads to sustainable success. I want to stay flexible and prototype solutions. And when I say prototype, I've said it a couple times. I don't want to go down a path, a very strict and rigid path, and then 6 months later it isn't working. So I kind of want to use all these things as tools, as needed to address the different issues that arise. And if something doesn't work, don't I'm not wedded to it. I can try something else. And then this is a supporting research, kind of the authors, and then the different concepts I pulled from them. We've got Greenleaf's servant leadership principles, Sinek's circle of safety, Truths of leadership from Blanchard and Conley, Hackman's different team design and incentives, McKinsey's report on modern evaluation modern evaluations, and the U.S. Army's after action review and team building models. Thank you.